ANC has described as alarming the report into the fraud at VBS Mutual Bank. The party says that the report points to a grave abuse of authority and office. The report, which was commissioned by the South African Reserve Bank, also recommends that more than 50 people be criminally charged in connection with the theft of almost 2 billion rand. And we're joined now by ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe. Thanks for coming through. Alarming, you say?
Yes, and morning to you and your viewers, Sakina. We did have time to study the report. Of course, we are still continuing to study it because there's quite a lot of interesting discoveries in the report. We feel that it is alarming. Of course, we have welcomed the work undertaken by the South African Reserve Bank to commission this important investigation. You will also remember that this follows some of the issues raised by the curator in April. But again, by way of background, that the Prudential Authority, acting through the necessary legislative undertaking out of the financial sector regulation, appointed the legal entities to be able to investigate issues around the VBS Mutual Bank. And there are quite a number of discoveries that were made there. One, you had to establish whether people or individuals or institutions who were involved there acted in the best interest of the bank, whether there were no clear acts of fraud and all of that. Now, we felt that some of the issues that are raised are quite worrying, and that where there is wrongdoing, heads must, of course, roll, because we need to assure the people of South Africa that the trajectory that we want to place the country, which is one of renewal and ethical leadership, is beginning to show some good waves and positive vibes.
Is that not at odds with what your Deputy Secretary General, Jessie Duarte, said yesterday when she asserts that the ANC only believes that people are, people should be found guilty rather and convicted, sentenced before the party would actually, basically distance itself from them, get them into positions?
Well, that's why. Well, the Deputy Secretary General was quite clear, and the position that she conveyed is the position of the ANC. It is consistent with our own views on maintaining and restoring the integrity of the ANC, as said by the 54th National Conference. What the DSG was saying there was that only when individuals have been convicted. You see, what happens is that when there's a process, for instance, there's a process now with the VBS where there's even suggestions of possible criminal prosecution. Of course, once that process is initiated and once known individuals are part of that process as well, and that this leads to conviction where they are occupying or have got responsibilities, whether in the organization or in institutions of state, it follows that they will have to step aside.
What about the power of perception?
That is why it is important that, even in the State Capture Commission, the African National Congress was the first to say that where our own cadres feel that there is information that they could be able to empower the commission on, they must make themselves available to that. Because you allow public perception to become fact and hold if you do not make yourself available to provide the necessary clarity. The report is now before us. It is now incumbent upon those individuals to provide the necessary clarity on what their perceived or known role would have been in the whole affairs of VBS. You see, Sakina, one of the things that the ANC-led government prides itself with is to have led the process towards the establishment of the financial sector regulations, which led to the establishment of the Prudential Authority. We didn't have a Prudential Authority. Now, Prudential Authority sits with a range of authority. It has got to assess the conduct of banking institutions to an extent that they could also be able to withdraw your own license to bank, whether you are a retail or mutual banker. This is quite a step in the right direction undertaken by a progressive government of ours.
Now, if you look at the VBS report, you look at the State Capture Commission,
yes,
and one could argue that essentially the ANC is on trial because members and high-ranking members of the ANC have been implicated. And is this an indication of the decline within the party?
Well, Sakina, I think one of the things that we need to commend the ANC with was that having led this country to a democratic dispensation, one of the things we did was to establish Chapter 9 institutions so that we could be able to deal with this kind of instances, because we believe that we must be running a transparent government. We must be responsible, be able to account for our own actions. That's why where Chapter 9 institutions call or desire that certain of these institutions like the State Capture Commission are established, the ANC lead the charge all the time. We also look at what are the legislative frameworks that we could explore to make sure that we increase the level of accountability, good governance, and responsibility amongst those who are charged with such roles.
It remains in question, even within the African National Congress. Earlier on, I was speaking to Dr. Majola about the Integrity Commission within the African National Congress itself.
Yes.
So talk to us about the success of that particular institution within your structures.
Well, I mean, the fact that the 53rd National Conference took a decision to establish the Integrity Committee, it meant that, I mean, and it's even emboldened in the strategy and tactics document of the African National Congress, where it begins to say that the ANC, as a leader of society, need to make sure that it represents the best amongst our people.
So that commission was set in place in 2013. It's 2018.
Yes.
How many people have been held accountable by that particular institution within the ANC?
Well, I can tell you, Sakina, without even going into the details, that at a certain point, when there were issues that would have involved our own cadres, the Integrity Committee would have attended to such issues and would effectively file its own report to the National Executive Committee.
But who's been sanctioned? Has anyone been sanctioned by your own Integrity Committee?
Yes.
Who?
Myself as well. I mean, when I had to answer a case on the State Security Agency when I was still Treasurer General,
what was the sanction against you?
That I should not stand in as president of the Youth League.
And who else?
No, I'm just trying to. I'm bringing it closer to home, just to demonstrate to you that the Integrity Committee.
There's been high-ranking officials within the African National Congress who actually have come off, against a very great condemnation. You think about Life Esidimeni, you think about the Brian Hlongwa, Qatani Matlangu situations here in Gauteng alone. What has the Integrity Committee done about those situations? Or does the ANC not believe that anything ought to be done until they are found guilty by a court of law?
Well, I can tell you that our provincial structure is seized with the matter. As soon as the relevant provincial body has dealt with the matter, even including the structure of the African National Congress in that province has dealt with the issues, there would be a report and they will be able to pronounce themselves. What I can tell you of now, and I can assure the people of South Africa, that the ANC, you are going to see a lot of this. The ANC is not going to be flip-flopping when it comes to issues of integrity. We are going to pronounce ourselves clearly, unequivocally, and we are not going to speak in tongues. Our message is going to be clear on what we are doing there. Because
your message is always clear.
Yes,
but the problem is the action to match the message. Because right now, in the VBS scandal, you actually have one of your high-ranking provincial officials, who was the mayor of the Vembe district, investing 300 million rand in the VBS Mutual Bank, which clearly goes against PFMA.
Yes.
What is the ANC going to do about that, and when?
The African National Congress, even in the province of Limpopo, has already issued a statement. It had said that they are studying that report. They will have to establish all the full extent of the facts, and that where there is a wrongdoing, action must be taken. You see, Sakina,
this wrongdoing was flagged a long time ago. You see
that's why, I mean, you talk up, that's what I'm saying. You need to also understand the extent of the wrongdoing that you are talking about.
She contravened the PFMA. The PFMA is crystal clear that no municipal entity is to invest in a mutual bank.
Yes.
That was flagged even by the Reserve Bank quite a while back.
Yes.
Why hasn't the ANC acted on it? So
that's why I'm saying it is important to study that report, because a mayor, just top of mind, a mayor is not an accounting authority of a municipal institution. Just from And the second issue,
Mr. Mabe, come on.
Yes.
You can't really sit there and,
Yes.
and put that forward as a reason for why you did not act in this instance.
I'm not saying we didn't act. I'm not saying
what have you done there?
I'm not saying we didn't act. I'm saying, no, I'm responding to the question you are raising on contravention of PFMA. Because in municipalities, Sakina, it's not PFMA. It's MFMA.
MFMA, Municipal Finance Management Act, the Provincial Finance Management Act.
Yes.
Same thing, they were contravened.
Okay,
it doesn't change the complexion of the issue.
No, for the sake of your viewers, let's call it by its rightful names.
Okay.
Yes,
it's the MFMA at municipal level.
Yes, let's call
That's what we're talking about.
So now, in terms of the Municipal Finance Management Act, they are roles and powers embedded or vested upon those who are accounting officers. Now, when the report gets to be studied, you'll have to understand what was the role of the accounting authority in this kind of a transaction. What is it? What happened? Why did they have to allow something as worrying as this, to be able to happen? I mean, there are monies that, there are monies, for instance, that would have exchanged hands to known individuals of other political parties, for instance, the EFF
Absolutely.
as well.
But we're talking ANC right now.
No, we're talking the report.
No, we're talking ANC.
Yes.
You speak on behalf of the ANC.
Yes.
So I'm interested in what has the ANC done. We'll call the EFF to account for their own issues.
Yes.
But as far as the ANC goes, and it was not only that, Mayor.
Yes.
Because there were other
Yes.
provincial structures,
Yes.
municipalities that also invested money there.
Yes.
Has the ANC moved on all of those allegations and charges?
Yes. Okay, Sakina, no. Thanks for that. But this is not an ANC report. It's a VBS report. So the ANC must be allowed, as a player in the South African politics, to comment about...
But it's your members who are contravening the law to invest in that mutual bank.
Yes. I'm not disputing the issues you are raising. I am saying that we are looking at the report in its fuller extent. One, where our own members are found to have flip-flopped and would not have exercised the necessary prudence and caution in terms of their own conduct, there must be a process that begins to deal with that. We must demonstrate to the people of this country that we are serious about good governance.
Will you come and give us a report back on that?
Of course, that will happen. And the same, just so that we take a full bite on the report. The same thing must also apply. It doesn't matter whether this is an EFF member or an ANC member. Wrongdoing is wrongdoing. If they are known members of EFF, as the report suggests, who would have also been caught in worrying circumstances, accountability must also take course.
We are fully aware of that.
So the reason I'm saying this because we are not going to be defending anyone because they are ANC or because they belong to this party or that. When we issued a statement on the report, we even used the words, heads must roll.
Okay, we're going to wait to see which heads roll and when. Yes. Thanks so much for stopping by, Mr. Pule Mabe, who's the national spokesperson of the African National Congress. And just taking a look there, we need to take a break. And when we come back, of course, just a few more issues.